What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Bull Standard Podcast. We're coming live with the reaction episode for you because the news just broke less than about 30 minutes ago. We're coming at you to you guys right away with the info. Now, it's not official, but we had to jump on it just like everybody else is going to jump on it to get to the news. Mike McDaniel, we seem to have an agreement with him to come on and join the staff here in LA to be our offensive coordinator. Huge news because I believe he was the most coveted coach on the market, not even just as an offensive coordinator, but he had head coaching jobs. Half the teams out there that are still looking for him wanted him to be their coach. Raiders, Browns. I bet Buffalo would have tried to get him if they were able to get him up there in time. But once he came out to LA, it looks like we're not letting him leave. And I was saying that the whole time, do not let him leave the facility. Well, he
Hmm.
never went to the facility, so now we didn't let him leave the hotel. So don't let him out that door. Get him the best suite at the top, give them a good view of LA and the beach. I hope we're over there on like Manhattan Beach or somewhere. But yeah, Justin, man, what are your thoughts? Let's get a little your thoughts on just this huge hiring for the Chargers and Justin Herbert and our offense as a whole.
Super excited, man. Like I said, man, you go from Greg Roman, and I'm not gonna shoot the guy while he's down, but you go from Greg Roman to Mike McDaniel. I mean, you've seen his offenses over the last couple of years. Even when they had certain injuries and Tua was in and out of lineups, their offenses still looked really good. Run game, passing game, like he had a lot of different concepts and motions and a lot of creativity to his offenses. And I just loved watching them because you just knew you were going to see big plays, you were going to see flashy type stuff, but it wasn't just flash and if they don't got nothing flash and they were able to do things, run the ball, get 4 or 5 yards here, they hit you with a big play, run the ball, do this, screen pass, hit you with a big play. Like they really mixed things up, and I think that's something that I really enjoyed because when you watch Greg Roman in the offense that we had the last couple of years, there really was no mixing up. It just kind of seemed like the same stuff over and over and over, and it was like, okay, well, maybe you'll catch the defense lacking one time, but it's like, how can you catch them lacking when you're showing them the same stuff over and over? So that was the one thing that always got me. But with Mike McDaniel, I feel like you could never get a beat on him. He's always kind of a step ahead. So love the hiring. I love the fact that obviously, we really went after him. I mean, he came, obviously he's staying in the hotel and they didn't bring him to the boat. They went to him. So I think that just shows even more of an added emphasis. Like, nah, man, oh, you want us to come there? All right, we'll be there. What time? All right, we'll meet you in the lobby. We rented out the conference room. We're in there. We're gonna chat. We're gonna go to dinner later on. We're gonna roll out the red carpet. So really excited to have him there, man. Um, I think the one big thing. And I know Minner's obviously this isn't about Minner, but I feel like something like this could really entice Minner to stay. Like, oh my God, like you got to understand, like McDaniel's not. Now, I don't know the whole. Obviously, like you said, it might not be official. There's probably stuff still going. They're working things out. But like, who knows? Who's to say that this isn't something where it could be a 1 year thing for McDaniel, or we talked about it on the last pod. Maybe you lobby yourself into the head coaching job after a couple of years after Harbaugh. So it's like, okay, well, what if Minner sticks around for this little run until the thing, we really start to break apart? Like, who knows? But this could really lead and really, like, I don't know. I feel like it really can entice Minter to be like, you know what? Let's try this one more year. So,
1 more year, 1 more year. Start the chant now. Let
seriously,
him hear it all the way out there wherever he's
get the
living. But
chant going.
yeah, I think, man, it was like this could be something special, and maybe Mentor knows it too. I have heard reports and rumblings, and nothing official, not even close to what we've seen for the McDaniel stuff, but just through some tea leaves and people who are kind of connected it on through Twitter that I follow, that McDaniel or that Mentor is kind of penciled in as Ravens head coach, which would make a ton of sense. Like, look at the connection between the Chargers and the Ravens the last few years. If anybody's going to give Baltimore like a kind of preview of the coach they would want, especially after coming from a Harbaugh regime, the guy that's been around Harbaugh the last couple of years, or the Harbaugh family
Literally.
tree. A guy that comes from McDonald's system. Him and Mike McDonald ran similar systems, and then they lost McDonald that went to Seattle as a former Ravens youth coordinator. So they're kind of
Hmm.
filling that void because I think the Ravens want to get back to being a defensive football team. But back to what's important is the Chargers and what we got going on. Man, Mike, it just brings such a incredible element to a team. And I think people look at the motion and the flash and the speed of the type of team that they constructed in Miami, but they really don't understand that his run game is great. When you look at his ties, he comes from the Shanahan system. So he was with the Niners before he got the head coaching job in Miami. Before that, he was with the Falcons. And then so he was with those guys where Kyle was in Atlanta before his time as the Niners head coach. So he
Hmm.
has deep Shanahan roots. And there's one thing, if you know Shanahan football, even Shanahan's dad back with Denver, they run the football. And
Yep.
so his run game, which I'm sure Harbaugh knows about, one, from we played him this year, and two, just by knowing ball and knowing the league, that really probably wanted him more than anything is the way that he runs the ball. Because at the end of the day, Harbaugh wants to run the ball. Now,
Hmm.
we don't have to do it the Roman way of old school power right up the middle duo.
Gap power.
Now we get motion into it. Now we distracting the defense side to side, and then boom, we hit you with the power to the right side, or all the different concepts that Mike will bring with it. And with guys that we have on our roster, I think it's going to be a great fit. Like, how could you not be excited to coach a team that has Justin Herbert at quarterback, a power runner like Amari Hampton, young runner like that, right? And then we could fill in whatever backup we need at this point.
Hmm.
Draft a guy, bringing Najee back, Vidal
He's
obviously
got
showed.
speed too. He's got 4.4 speed, man. He's a big back, but that once he get going, man, that's them wheels is going.
Yep, and then you got all the other weapons. OG could be the Darren Waller type, and look what he did with Darren Waller. He hadn't played in 3 years. I mean, you got Ladd that can fill in the Jalen Waddle role, and look what Jalen Waddle was able to do in Miami. And then you still have guys. We still have QJ if we bring him back for that 5th year, and just see what goes on. This is a great
Stay tuned for the offseason edition. Not to cut you off.
great prove it year and great guy to have in your corner to put up a big year with McDaniel going to this system. Trey Harris, big year coming, can block. So a nice wide receiver fit for McDaniel. Man, I think he knew taking this interview. And I think that's why I had a few before the Chargers because he got to hear out from other guys. Because I bet if I had to guess, the Chargers were probably at the top of his list. Because I know Tampa was after him hard. I know a couple of those head coaching spots really wanted him.
Philly.
He has California ties too. His time with the Niners, he wants to be back in California. People were saying his wife is from California, so a lot of those people don't think about that sometimes. We always think career driven, but like think about when you're doing something in your own life. How much does it matter location or like
Hmm.
personal ties to it? Like as a man, what your wife wants to do, where she wants to be, right? You want to be back by the beach in LA. Like, man, where the Chargers facility is, where their stadium is, all the coaches and all the players, they're living in by the beach in great areas, Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, all them areas. Like
Yep.
everybody wants to be there. That's just as much of a selling point as Justin Herbert. I heard the story today that a coach was asked through the league, like, is it a draw to coach Justin Herbert? And they said it's just as much of a draw to live in Manhattan Beach. So, like, even something like that is just crazy. But real quick, I want to before I throw it back to you, couple things, Mike McDaniel wise. 35 and 33 as a head coach for the Dolphins last 4 years, not bad. Two playoff appearances in 4 years. But the offense was just incredible, especially if you go back to 2023. He was the number one offense in the entire league. He had Tua looking like a guy with that got a contract just off of 1 year where he led the league with passing with just under 4,700 yards through the air. Just if you look at all these different numbers, I could rattle them off from the last 4 years. But there's one thing if you know about Miami, you had to come locked in on defense. Put 70 on Denver, which I know that's going to be awesome to bring him in. Jim has that little thing with Sean Payton too, so now we got that in the mix where Mike McDaniel put 70 on their head, so that could be a little talking point. So I love all of it.
No, man, great points, man. Like you said, man, that offense is definitely humming. And like I said, I mean, when you have limitations over the years, sometimes, like their last 2 years, like they've had a lot of limitations, and there he still was able to do some things and squeeze the most amount of juice out of that orange. You know what I'm saying? Those first 2 years, though, when he was there, like you said, 2023, best offense in the NFL. And then in
Mhm.
2022 was the first year there. He still was like top five, I think it was. It was either five or six, something like that. But
Yeah.
he was like they were up there, and like that's elite production. And when you can do that with I'm not, like I said, I don't like to like really diss people a lot, but Tua is not Herbert
No,
at all.
can't drive the ball downfield.
At all. So when I look at that, I'm like, man, you cannot tell me that that wasn't a crazy selling point for him. Like you said, you mentioned the different offensive coordinator positions that were open, the different head coaching positions that are open. He chose this, and I read this. I think there was a couple of different big people. Ari put it out. I think Shefty had put it out, and he was like his top, like you said, his top preference was the Chargers head offensive coordinator spot over Tampa, over
Mhm.
Philly, which you look at those two teams. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Tampa, they got, I think their offense is, I like their offense a lot. They got a lot going on over there. Obviously, Baker's no Herbert, but I like the weapons over there. I think they got a really good O line as well. You look
Yeah,
at the Eagles. I think the Eagles typically have a good O line. Got Jalen Hurts, got tons of weapons. Barkley, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert. But what was the selling point? Like you said, location, LA, and Herbert. Like it was the best offensive coordinating spot that anybody could land in. So when I see that and I see McDaniel's wanting that, sky's the limit, man. Because we see what he does. We see what his offenses do. So I'm just crazy excited, man. It's just fired up. I mean, you go from, like I said, you go from Greg Roman and just not being a lot of rhythm to the offense and kind of just plays just kind of being thrown together to now it's going to be methodical. Now it's going to be, I'm going to hit you with these two. And then now
yep,
you're going to start reacting this way. I'm going to hit you with this. You're going to think I'm going to do this, but I'm actually going to do this instead. Like he's just a wizard, man. So, and just watching some of the things like the clip you sent me of him breaking down an offense, talking about,
yeah,
yeah, we watched this defensive tackle and when he's lined up and his feet are kind of like this, well, we know he's probably going to, he's looking to eat a double team. So we're going to do this instead. Like the way he was talking about attacking certain players and certain schemes was ridiculous. And
yeah.
I'm excited to see it.
His ball knowledge is elite. Like the when he was breaking that down, I think that essentially was like just amazing. Like I could watch that all day when he was just talking about just run scheme, and that's all that was him talking about how to plan a run game. So I'm
Yep.
just super excited for that aspect of the offense. And like we said, man, you get the chance to have Herbert as your quarterback compared to the last couple of years he had Tua, which he made the most out of Tua. And just imagine what he could get with it. Just as good accuracy wise, but way more power, way more control of offense. So man, so much to look forward to with this hiring. I'm almost just in shock, because I had him as the dream candidate, almost at a sense that it was going to be a dream to make it happen. Like I didn't think
Yeah.
I thought it was like almost like unreachable. It's like almost kind of when we got Jim, like we really wanted Jim, and it was like, man, that's that name. But like, will we actually do it? Do the Chargers do that? Right? Like look at years past. Brandon Staley, Anthony Lynn, McCoy. Like, come on, man. Like to add a guy like Mike McDaniel as offensive coordinator to what we already have going on, man, is it going to be create an interesting mix? Because I firmly believe a healthy team, or even with the team we had, like look what's going on in the AFC, man. We could have made a run this year. Now we get to make
Goodness.
this type of huge upgrade. We're going from a mid 2000s offense to a modern mid 2020s, 21st century offense with a great mind. And I think he's going to tap into another level of Justin Herbert, like you said. And that's going to be scary because, man, I want to get back to 2021 Justin Herbert, where 5K passing yards, like, man, that may not happen because we're going to run the ball probably pretty damn well with Joe
Hmm.
Alt and Rashawn Slater back in the mix. And then, well, however we shore up that interior, but just being able to let the ball get loose instead of just predictable play action pass. Like, I don't think Mike McDaniel is going to be calling play action flats to Scott Matlock anytime soon.
Or Tucker Fisk.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, just this is unbelievable. This is a great time for Bolt Nation, for the Chargers, for everybody involved with this. I think especially after coming off of that downtime where that Patriots game where a lot of us were really feeling down, within a couple of weeks to turn it around like this, I think speaks to the seriousness of Jim Harbaugh because he had to fire his friend to get this done. Like at the end of the day, Greg Roman was not just offensive coordinator, that's his boy. And so Jim Harbaugh proved something to me this offseason that this wasn't just all talk and gimmick about what he wants to do with Justin Herbert as far as win him a championship and get him to a Hall of Fame. Like all that stuff he says, it sounds great and I love it. And it sounds goofy sometimes. But
Hmm.
now he's putting some of the things in motion that, like, okay, I got a little saying sometimes I like to say, prove it. Show me, prove it to me. And
Hmm.
he's proven it now with his actions because I could talk all day about I want Justin Herbert to be the best. I want him to be a Hall of Famer. My goal is to win him a Super Bowl. I can't rest until I do it. Now you're just putting that plan in action, and it shows me how serious not just Jim, but Spanos is because a lot of people. If he was getting head coach interviews, think of the money you're going to have to pay him just to be a coordinator.
Yeah.
So as an owner, you're going to have to shell that out, which Spanos doesn't want to have done that like ever. He's one of the worst owners that I know just because I mean what he did
Penny
to us in
pinching.
San Diego, but that's a different story. But just adding all those things up to this speaks volumes, and so I'm just super excited. So I'm going to let you get us out of here on your last final thoughts.
Yeah, man. No, like I said, the excitement is through the roof, and it was just touching on a little bit of what we talked about last time. And I know we spoke about like, hey, man, okay, we got to fire Roman. We got to figure this out quick. And like that was my sentiment. Like we need to figure this out quick because I didn't want candidates like Mike McDaniel, like Todd Monken, like Dable, like for those guys to be gone because I mean, look at it already. I mean, you're getting some of these guys that are already. There's a lot of movement already. John
Yeah.
Harbaugh to the Giants. You got Stefanski over at what
And then solid to the Titans.
Salad to the Titans. You got teams already making moves. The Lions they got Drew why am I drawing blanks to people's names?
Or something to the for the he's from Arizona. I can't remember his last name. I was talking that with the Lions fan yesterday. He wasn't too excited, but I
Yeah,
know
but
what
like
you're
there's
talking about.
movement. Like
Yeah,
these spots is getting
dominoes
filled.
are falling.
Yeah, dominoes are falling. So it's like that's why I was like, yo, I don't want them to wait so long and okay, maybe we'll talk to Greg and see, hey man, do you think you can do this? Do you think we can improve here? Like we need to move and we need to move fast because dominoes are falling. And when that happens, then you get stuck with the lesser of the candidates. And then you gotta go with the unproven, the guy who, yeah, he's got the upside, but he hasn't been a play caller. So it's like, okay, well, how's that gonna work? We needed a head coach of the offense, like Jim Harbaugh said. And we got just that, man. We got someone who's going to come in and be like, all right, listen, this offense we're running, and I know how to do it damn well. And guess what? When the free agency comes and draft time comes, you know that he's going to be making some decisions, and they're going to be taking his word. They're going to be taking his impact, his input very highly. Because guess what? That O line needs to be revamped, and there's probably some players that he's going to want to bring in. Like, hey, listen, I need these guys for my scheme. So
I'm very, that's a great point. That's a perfect way for us to finish this and move into the next part because that's going to go speak volumes into how we act in free agency with that interior. Because, like you said, it's going to take certain people to be able to run his run game from a guard, from a center perspective. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. And we got money to spend, so we can go get a guy that he handpicks and say, I need him. We have the cap and the availability to do that. So it's going to be awesome. Looking forward to it. And Jim Harbaugh, who's got it better than us? For a second there, I was going to say, but let the people play. I might be back on the nobody train again.
facts. Facts. Yeah, no, man. Definitely nobody got it better than us, man. Like I said, things are shaping up really well. Stay tuned, Bolt fan. Make sure y'all are locked in with us because we're gonna be dropping stuff like this quite often because there's news flying around. And whenever any type of news is happening with the Bolts, we're gonna be bringing it to you guys pretty quickly. So make sure you guys stay locked in. Follow us on the socials. We dropped another video on Instagram, little reaction video before we drop this one, but this is gonna be going up on the YouTube. Stay locked in, man. A lot of good stuff coming up. It's gonna be a real exciting offseason, like Dylan said. We got a lot of money to spend. And I love the business side of it. Cannot wait to see what kind of cuts that we make because I already narrowed down about 5 people that need to be cut, and they could save an additional about like 20 million. That's a lot of money. So stay tuned. We got an off-season pod coming up. We'll be talking about signings, whether we're gonna re-sign them or let them walk. It's gonna be some fun stuff happening, man. So I'm gonna take us on out of here. You already heard my man Dylan say, "Who got it better than us? Nobody." And you know how we ending this off, man. Bolt up.